If the thought of buying your first home in 2024 feels downright daunting when you think about rising interest rates and the ever-increasing cost of living, you're probably not alone. Many in our generation face these challenges, making the dream of home ownership and starting a family seem out of reach. But hey, don't fear guys, I am here. In today's video, we're going to delve into the world of first-time homebuyer programs and grants that could make your home ownership dreams a reality sooner than you think. In fact, these programs are offered by many different organizations, from nonprofits and public and private banks all the way to the government. They all provide a lifeline for first-time homebuyers. So there's something for everyone. Are you curious about the $25,000 first-time homebuyer grant that you've been hearing about? Well, I'm going to be covering that too. The requirements and details vary per grant program, so you really need to pay attention on this one. Stick with us as we uncover the key details and guide you through the best homeownership grants in 2024. Now, for California residents, the state government just released a program to help first-time homebuyers. Check this out.
Last week, California launched a new program, Dream for All, where the state will pay your 20% down payment in exchange for 20% equity in your home. You pay it back when you sell or refinance.
It's going to open up the doors for a lot of potential buyers, especially first-time home buyers, and that income limit in LA County is up to $180,000.
Hey guys, I know the feeling. I still remember what it was like buying my very first home not too long ago, and it was just kind of scary with how the interest rate has gone up and the cost of living feels like no one, or at least no one in our generation, can buy a home or start a family now. And this is exactly why I'm pooling all of these resources together for you guys, so you can check them out for yourself and hopefully find a good fit for you and for your family. Luckily, there are first-time homebuyer programs and grants available to help you get into your first home sooner. So what exactly is a first-time homebuyer program? Pretty much in the name itself, they're basically sweet deals that make it easier for folks to dive into the world of home ownership without burning a hole in their pockets. Lots of groups like nonprofits, banks, both public and private, and even the government have different programs to lend a helping hand. Depending upon what you qualify for, you may have access to the following first-time homebuyer programs: local and federal tax credits, low down payment mortgages, no down payment mortgages, more lenient loan approval criteria for certain types of home loans, loans for mortgages or costs related to home buying at more competitive interest rates. Now, from there, you also have first-time homebuyer grants, which are kind of a sub-niche of homebuyer programs. Where homebuyer programs help out in a general way, a first-time homebuyer grant gives you a financial boost, money that you don't need to repay. Let me repeat that for you guys. Money that you do not need to repay. This money you can use toward closing or your down payment. Interestingly enough though, every state offers some form of home buyer assistance, but most borrowers don't even realize it's available. If you want to see what is available in your state, check the Housing and Urban Development's website on state-specific resources. The only real catch is the pretty strict qualifying requirements, such as income restrictions and the requirements to take qualifying courses. Now at this point, I know some of you guys are going to ask, are there any programs to help the middle class with assistance? Well, stick around to find out. Let's talk about the types of first-time homebuyer programs, right? So number one, state first-time homebuyer grants. In almost every single state, there's a down payment assistance program of some sort. They're usually managed by a housing finance agency or a government entity, and each program has its own set of rules. So the amount you can receive, whether or not it needs to be repaid, and eligibility guidelines, it really all depends on where you're looking to buy your home. In certain states and even in certain counties or cities, you might come across outright grants, meaning that you don't have to pay them back at all. And these can get pretty big too, ranging from anywhere from a few $1,000s to as much as 3% to 5% of your home's purchase price. The exact figure? Well, that depends on where your new home purchase is going to be. Now, there's also the concept of forgivable home loans in some states. They're called silent mortgages with no monthly bills and a 0% APR. After 5 to 10 years, the loan is settled in full. But if you move, sell the home, or refinance before that time is up, you'll have to repay at least a portion of what you received. While not all states have home buyer grants, many do offer repayable down payment loans. You borrow some cash and you pay it back bit by bit over time, like say a decade, in parallel with your main mortgage. The cool part? The interest rates on these loans are usually on the low side. And don't worry, your lender should make sure that you can handle that second mortgage alongside your main one and other debts. Now, we're just getting started, guys. Make sure you stick around for the rest of our first-time homebuyer grants. And if you're finding this information helpful at all, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay updated on all things related to home buying, mortgages, and real estate. Your support means the world to me. Not to mention, your views and likes really go a long way in helping helping me keep creating financial content for you guys. So really, I just want to thank you so much, but let's get back to it. So number 2 on the list, the National Home Buyers Fund. The NHF is a program that helps people buy or refinance a home. If you're a first-time home buyer or someone who's buying a home for the first time in a while, you may be eligible for a grant or a 3-year forgivable loan. This means that you don't necessarily have to pay the money back as long as you meet certain conditions. And it's pretty good too, up to 5% of your mortgage loan amount. Plus, you can stack this with a conventional FHA, VA, or even USDA mortgage. The NHF is designed to help low-income and moderate-income home buyers. That means that there are income limits to qualify. But you would be surprised. The NHF may have a higher income threshold than what you may see in many state, city, and county programs. Plus, the funds can be used toward down payment and or closing costs. Not all programs are like that though. Other eligibility criteria for the National Home Buyers Fund include a credit score of 640 or higher, a debt to income ratio of 45% or lower. The first time home buyer requirement is waived. You must use an NHF recognized lender. You can call 866-643-4968 to learn more and also find a participating lender, or start with the NHF's website at www.nhfloan.org. All right, so number 3, the Chenoa Fund. So the Chenoa Fund is a program that helps first-time home buyers with their down payment. So instead of giving you a grant, they offer you a 3-year silent forgivable loan. This means that you don't have to pay back the money as long as you meet certain conditions. The Chenoa Fund also offers installment loans, which need to be repaid in parallel with your primary mortgage. The Chenoa Fund offers forgivable loans for either 3.5% or 5% of your home's purchase price. That would cover the entire down payment requirement for an FHA loan or a 3% down conforming mortgage. Here are the main eligibility criteria for the Chenoa's forgivable loans: credit score of 600 or higher, income at or below 115% of the area median income, debt to income ratio of 45% or lower. You must choose a Chenoa Fund approved lender. If you take out a loan from Chenoa, you can get it forgiven after making 36 consecutive on-time payments on the FHA first mortgage. However, if you make a late payment, the forgiveness period resets. But don't worry, you have the full 30-year term to meet the forgiveness conditions. This loan may also be forgiven at the end of the 30-year term if the previous forgiveness conditions has not yet been met. Now, if you can't get a forgivable loan, you might still find that the Chenoa's Fund repayable loan offers a better deal than your state's program. But explore all of your options, and to do so, you can call 866-563-3507, or you can also visit the Chenoa Fund website to learn more. All right, so number 4, Fannie Mae Community Seconds. So Fannie Mae Community Seconds is a mortgage loan program that can help you finance your home purchase. It's not a grant or even a forgivable loan, but it's still a very generous program. With Community Seconds, you can finance up to 105% of the home purchase using a single low-rate mortgage. This means you can cover your entire purchase cost, including the home, your down payment, your closing costs, and maybe even some home improvements. The repayment terms are flexible, so you can choose to make your regular monthly payments, take payment holidays, or maybe even pay the whole amount back as a lump sum when you go to sell the home or refinance the mortgage. You'll need to get a Fannie Mae Home Ready loan to be eligible, and you typically must have an income at or below 120% of the area median income, a credit score of 640 or higher. And just to add, you may also be able to get a Community Seconds loan through a local program that has different, sometimes easier eligibility criteria. You just need to ask your mortgage lender for details. So number 5, there's Freddie Mac Affordable Seconds. So Freddie Mac's Affordable Seconds program is a lot like Fannie Mae's Community Seconds. It lets you borrow up to 105% of the sales price in total to cover your home purchase, down payment, and closing costs. Typically, Affordable Seconds is paired with a home possible mortgage loan. These loans allow you to put down just 3%, but you need to have a slightly higher minimum credit score eligibility requirement of 660. Community Seconds and Affordable Seconds are very similar programs, as are the Home Ready and Home Possible mortgages with which they're paired. So it's a good idea to have your lender explain both options and compare the terms to see which one's going to work best for you. All right, so next you got Good Neighbor Next Door program. So the Good Neighbor Next Door program is a great opportunity for law enforcement officers, teachers, firefighters, and even emergency medical technicians or EMTs who want to be able to buy a home. So the program is run by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, and offers a pretty substantial incentive in the form of a 50% discount from the list price of the home. In return, you must commit to living in the property for 36 months as your primary residence. Now, the main drawback is that you must buy a HUD home for the 50% discount to apply. These homes are previously financed by FHA loans and are located in designated revitalization areas, which tend to be struggling neighborhoods. But if you're in an eligible profession and your area qualifies for the Good Neighbor Next Door program, that 50% discount should be irresistible. Number 7. Grants for disabled homebuyers. Now, sure, I can help you rephrase that. Here's a more conversational version of the text. If you're a homebuyer with a disability or a caretaker buying a home with or for your disabled relative, you may be eligible for special assistance programs. VA loans for disabled buyers are a great option if you have a service-related disability. You won't have to pay the VA funding fee at closing, and minimum service eligibility requirements don't apply. You might also be exempt from property taxes and could receive a tax credit depending upon where you live. The VA also offers special grant programs to adapt your housing to your needs. HUD Housing Choice vouchers are also another option to consider. Talk to a HUD approved housing counselor about your possible eligibility for Section 8 vouchers. Just know that these vouchers may not be accessible in all areas, and the application process can be time consuming. If and when you have a voucher, you should pay roughly 30% of your adjusted monthly income for your housing. Nonprofits may also be a valuable resource for disabled homebuyers seeking assistance. You could start by checking out the National Disability Institute, Habitat for Humanity, Rebuilding Together AmeriCorps, and Homes for Our Troops. Disability income may also help you to get a home loan. Properly documented income from government disability programs and your state's Medicaid program will typically count when you apply for a mortgage. In other words, you can include those sources when you declare your total income to a lender. Now, what about that last one on our list, the $25,000 first-time homebuyer grant that many of you guys have heard about? Many homebuyers are wondering about the Down Payment Toward Equity Act of 2021. So according to the National Council of State Housing Agencies, this is an initiative to establish a grant program to provide down payment and other house payment assistance to underserved homebuyers. If passed, it could offer up to $25,000 in assistance to eligible borrowers. But at the time of this video, the Down Payment Toward Eligibility Act is still currently working its way through Congress. It hasn't been passed into law yet, but it did get acknowledged in President Joe Biden's 2024 fiscal year budget proposal, so it's still very possible that it could become a law in the future. Something to look forward to in another video, I guess. Now, what about stacking multiple grants? Is that a possibility to utilize as many as possible to have a healthy equity from the jump? That's exactly what I'm looking into for you guys. Look forward to that video in the future. Make sure you always tune in for the latest on these first-time homebuyer grants and any other financial helpful information. I'll see you on the next one, all right? Take care.